protecting Main Street from Wall Street. It's time for Money Unleashed with Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn.
You have to have a plan where you know if the market's going to go up, what happens next. And you also have to have a plan where if it doesn't go the way you think, you know what you're going to do.
It's time to put you back in control of your money.
I'm not trying to predict the weather, which is kind of what we're talking about, right? It's predicting the stock market. I'm trying to build a better boat.
This is Money Unleashed with Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn.
Welcome to the Money Unleashed podcast, powered by the Hoffman Financial Group. I'm Eric Johnson. Joining me, as always, is Kyle Allyn. We're the vice presidents of Hoffman Financial Group. You can catch new episodes of the podcast each Friday, so make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Let's jump into the show. Two big questions that Kyle and I both hear every single day. The first one is, can I retire? Right? Okay. And the second one is will I run out of money? The reason why people have these questions is the fear of the unknown. Essentially, it's what it comes down to. Fear and greed. It's some of the major things that we have as human beings that make us do things. And this is the fear piece, right? Like, can I make it? Like, we talked about this earlier in the show about people having $2.2 million, wondering if they got enough. And I'm here to tell you, if you're using the typical Wall Street model of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, this is a fear that's valid, right? If you're just doing what you've been doing your whole life in your accumulation phase, there is a possibility of running out of money and not having the retirement that you like. So it's all about putting together a proper plan. But let's talk about that, Kyle. Like, how do we help people realize that they can retire and not run out of money?
Yeah, and there's two different groups. So this is some research from Fidelity as we hit the halfway point of 2025. While over 70% of retirees say retirement is going as planned, confidence in retirement outlook is down among pre-retirees. So if you're somebody who's not yet retired, it's a different world than if you're somebody that has retired. And so we see these two different groups and the two sides of the coin. Let's talk to both of them, right? So let's take the pre-retirees for a second. So if you're somebody who's trying to get ready for retirement, of course it's intimidating. You're not there yet. Fear is something in the future that you've not done and the worry about that thing. Mm-hmm. Well, of course you're uncomfortable. And yet when people come back 5 years after they've decided to retire, they find, oh, no, I think I've got what I need. So look, I empathize with this. I make the joke often that as a 40-year-old, you could help me make decisions on, like, I'm working through T-ball. You could teach me and talk to me about what I need to avoid with my 4-year-old as we're walking on the T-ball field. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, I can tell you what to avoid and what to do at 65 because we've been working on this for many years, and I empathize. Even though I coach and teach and advise on how to retire and how to not have a paycheck but replace that paycheck, I get it myself. I've never been in a situation where I didn't have a paycheck because I have a job. But the exciting part is we see people do this all the time. We've got lots of clients that have fully retired. They're getting the distributions they need. They're organized around their taxes. They know where the money's coming from. One of the most common questions I get is, when you send me the money, how are you going to do that? Like, logistically, how are you going to send me the money? Well, it's as simple as linking a bank account and dropping it in, whether you want that at the beginning of the month or the end of the month, 12 times a year. So it feels like a pension, right? You've got $1 million. We're doing a 5% distribution. We're saying, okay, we'll send you gross $4,000 a month. Even more than that, we'll do the tax withholding if it's an IRA. That way you don't have to think so much about the taxes like we talked in the previous segment. This is way easier than you think. And for most of you, you have what you need. So it's just getting organized and going through some of these topics that's going to give you that clarity to join the other side. Because the other side is 72% of people say their retirement is going as planned. Well, to go as planned, that means you built a plan.
Yep.
Right? So the answer is alluded to in the statement, which is you need to build a plan. I used to do the workshops where we take people to dinner, and I'd always say having a retirement plan in retirement is so very necessary and akin to driving a car but putting duct tape over the gauges. Imagine sitting in a car and all of a sudden looking up and realizing there's no gauge for oil, there's no gauge for gas. Well, you're not going to wreck the car. You've been driving the car your whole life. You're not going to wreck your investments. You've been investing your whole life. But if you don't know how much oil is in that engine, if you don't know how much gas is in the tank, you might run out of gas or you might run out of oil, and you're in big trouble when you run out of oil.
Yes, you are. Because the car's going to stop running, and then there you go.
So that retirement plan is the oil, is the gas, is those things underneath to understand how far will this plan make it. And those that have built a plan on a 72% margin say that retirement is going as planned. 70% say they've saved and planned appropriate for a comfortable retirement. So it's not just surviving, but thriving. So now I'm going to toss it back to you. All right, let's have a little fun with this.
Okay.
How are your clients thriving in retirement?
So one way that I gauge myself as an advisor is the pictures that I see, right? So I got clients going to Iceland. I got clients going on, cruises for Alaska. I got clients going
the Viking cruises.
I just had one yesterday. We're going on a Viking cruise. I'm like, hooray! I'm like, take pictures, right? And that's how I know I'm doing a good job in retirement, because are they worried about the ups and downs of the stock market, what's going on with this administration or geopolitics? No. They are on these ships. They're at these places. They're seeing the world. They're having these experiences. That's how I judge my success.
Hey, I want to pause you for a second, because I know we both like watches and we both like to help people get on the cruise ships.
Yep.
I heard yesterday that there's a cruise ship. It may be through Norwegian, that if you go on the cruise ship, they have enough allocation that you can buy a Rolex.
That's interesting.
Want to talk about thriving?
Yeah.
What if you've retired and you've gotten to a place where you get to finally buy that toy or that thing that you've been thinking about your whole life? My dad was saying this recently. He said, when I was in my 20s, I wanted to buy a BMW and a Rolex. Now, he also agrees that once he could afford the BMW and the Rolex, he was like, never mind.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because I like having the money.
But if you retire and you're in a place and you have surplus, like I was working with a lady yesterday, and she said, I think I can get $250 out of my house to go retire on a lake in Michigan. But man, if I had $350, I really would be in a great spot. I go, well, guess what? You have a surplus in your retirement accounts. You should not only take the $100 you need, I would argue you should take $150,000 out and go buy that house. And I heard the shoulders relax. I could see how she was feeling. She was like, wait, I get to buy the house on the lake near my family. Like, she had one in her mind, and we were able to say, hey, you don't have to buy the $250 house. You get to buy the $400 house. Well, whether it's a watch, a car, a trip, a house, I want to see the clients who are able to say, we're not going to just grow this to a magic number in the future and give it away to someone else. We're going to know in confidence that we're headed to a great future. So today, in the present, we're going to buy the Rolex, buy the BMW, buy the house, and thrive.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes down to the constructs of setting up a proper income plan. That solves the majority of the problems. And one of the things that people are scared about, because they walk in and say, well, I don't want to run out of money. Got it. Okay. What people don't realize, because they think it's a race to zero, right? And that's not necessarily the game. If you set your income plan up properly, it's not a race to zero. You actually can pay yourself in retirement and actually still grow your portfolio at the same time. It blows people's minds, right? But it is possible to do these types of things. And like you just said, it feels good as an advisor when you can help people acquire the toys and the fun stuff that they want, but not necessarily draw their accounts down, right? Like, you get to hold on to the money and still have the things. Yes, that's the game. Like, that's how do we pay for things and not draw our accounts down in retirement, right? So, and that's exciting. So the first step to getting that done is to solve the income problem in retirement. So we've been talking about, you and I, dabbling in the real estate market. It's location, location, location. For retirement, guys, it is income, income, income. And if you solve the income issue first, what you realize is it doesn't take as much money as you think to create the income that you need to supplement your pension and Social Security, right? If you're blessed enough to have those. Which that also means is on the outside portion of your income plan, there's a growth plan that you can set up, right? So you can actually, pay yourself every single month and give yourself more money than possibly what you were making in retirement. That happens all the time in our world. And then you also have abilities to grow things and trim from gains, or, take things once a year from other investment vehicles and have those vacations and buy the lake house and have the Rolex and the BMW and all those different things. And you typically, when you get into these types of plans and you see it work for a few years in retirement, you said the shoulders go down. You see that? I love it. I call it the 800-pound gorilla. I love making that gorilla get up out of the office and run out the door and hit its head on the wall, right? And no better feeling as an investment advisor when you can help people have that feeling. So it's about setting up the income. It's about making sure there's a growth plan on top of it too. And yes, intellectually we know that when we stop working, the paycheck stops, right? And so one of the other problems that I see is we're just human beings, and it's not a problem. It's just how we think. So when I say, hey, how much money do you need to live? Automatically, everybody just whittles down to, okay, what do I need to just live? And that's not fun. That's not why we work our tail off 20, 30, sometimes 40 years. It's to have a better lifestyle in retirement, right? So the key to the castle is making sure, yes, you have to have your day-to-day income needs taken care of, but you also need to have a savings plan incorporated to your income plan. So if people walk in and say, hey, I'm spending $6,000 a month, I'm going to shoot for $10,000 in retirement after taxes plus inflation. And guess what? If you go on one of these cruises and buy yourself a Rolex, fantastic. The money's going to show up the next month whether you like it or not. If you have a normal month, right, we're not spending 10, we're spending 6. Well, guess what? Now you can take that money and you can put it into your emergency fund for the next hot water heater that's going to burst or the next big purchase that you want to have. And you can now accrue for things in retirement. Why is that important, Kyle? Because it takes the pressure off of your portfolio and allows it to still grow in retirement. These plans are super important. Tell people why they need to have an income plan.
You need to have an income plan so you have the confidence and clarity to navigate this thing called retirement. And the great news is we've got someone in your area. The Hoffman Financial Group specializes in building income plans and helping you navigate this thing. We'll be able to walk you through Wall Street, politics, income planning, taxes, 401ks, IRAs, legacy planning, on and on and on. There are thousands of things to think about. They're always moving, they're always shifting, but we're in here every day studying, learning, and walking people through all those different things to build that plan. Proper planning prevents poor performance. And we've got your back here at the Hoffman Financial Group to be able to come in, to understand that planning, to build that planning, and then to be able to implement that planning so that you can move forward and enjoy retirement as opposed to worry about the stock market.
That's right. We want to take the worry out, and selfishly, I want to see more pictures of people's vacations. That's how I know I'm doing a good job. And the best part about this is it's no cost and no obligation. We give you the reports. So let's put together one of those portfolio x-rays for you today. This is where it all starts. And we can show you how to create a growth plan as well as an income plan. We can show you how to avoid these tax traps. We can show you how to keep more money in your pocket. We can also show you how to have less fear in retirement by having a proper plan put into place. Let us put together one of these plans for you today. And let's give you the confidence to go into retirement knowing that you got the game won. 404-640-5511. That's 404-640-5511. Or you can find us online at unleashyourmoney.com.
Eric Johnson and Kyle Allyn are investment advisor representatives of Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor and affiliate of Brookstone Capital Management, LLC. BWA and Hoffman Financial Group are affiliated under common ownership. Registered investment advisors and investment advisor representatives act as fiduciaries for all of our investment management clients. We have an obligation to act in the best interest of our clients and to make full disclosures of any conflicts of interest. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, page 4, for additional information. The Hoffman Financial Group and WSB are not affiliated. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. This information should not be considered tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a professional specializing in the field of tax, legal, accounting, or investments regarding the applicability of this information for their situation. Any client experiences discussed during the show are unique to that client. They are not meant to imply or suggest you will experience the same results. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments will fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Any comments regarding safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered by Brookstone. Index or fixed annuities are not designed for short-term investments and may be subject to caps, restrictions, fees, and surrender charges as described in the annuity contract. Please refer to our firm brochure, the ADV 2A, item 4, for additional information. Hoffman Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Insurance licensed in Georgia, number 163546.